All right, that was my Fritos into my crust-lined little baking dish for this super delicious, easy one-pan recipe. I'm just making sure those are nice and crunched down into our pan. I'm coming in next with some ground beef. I'm going right on top of those Fritos, just like so. And we're going to do even layers for this recipe. You could also feel free to do a Dorito or a chorizo. I'm gonna come in next with our taco seasoning and be pretty generous with that taco seasoning. I'm just going right over top. And this is one of my favorite recipes to make during the week for like lunch or dinner. I think that looks great. In addition to our Fritos and our ground beef, I have some mild cheddar cheese. You could also do a Mexican blend here. You could do a sharp cheddar. You could do a queso fresco. I mean, the possibilities for this recipe are pretty much endless. Make sure that's evenly distributed and just packed down tightly, just like so. Perfect. I'm next gonna come in with a medium mixing bowl. In that medium mixing bowl, I'm gonna come in with some cheddar cheese condensed soup. You could also do a nacho cheese or your favorite kind of like cheese dip, but I think the condensed cheddar cheese from Campbell is gonna be perfect for this recipe. I also have a can of our Rotel, which is one of my favorite ingredients to use whenever I'm doing kind of Mexican inspired dishes. And we're just gonna go ahead and give that a stir. So the ratio is 1:1, and we're just gonna make sure that that's evenly kind of mixed together to create kind of a cheesy, spicy little salsa. I think that looks pretty good. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go right on top as a layer in our delicious 13x9. Perfect. I'm gonna go back in with my spatula and just spread that out evenly, just like so. Oh, look at the colors on that. If you could smell this too, ooh. Making sure everything is evenly distributed, just like so, before we move on to our next layer. All right, so I'm just gonna repeat the layers. So we're gonna go Fritos next. Make sure those are nice and crunched up. Ground beef. Taco seasoning. Mild cheddar. And to make sure we have a nice crunchy, crispy top, I'm gonna use the remainder of those Fritos with our cheddar cheese, just like so. All right, now that we have our beautiful Mexican lasagna layered, I'm gonna take some of that excess dough that we have hanging off, and I just use a pizza crust for this. You could also do and make your own dough. You could use a puff pastry. I kind of already did it for this side, and then we're just gonna go in with that dough and just create kind of a lip so we can have our beautiful crust to our delicious Mexican lasagna. We're gonna place this into the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes at 350. Oh my goodness, our Mexican inspired lasagna just came out of the oven. Our crust is perfectly golden brown. We have a nice crisp with those Fritos. You can see our melted cheese on top. I'm gonna go in with my little spatula here. Ooh, I may even need a knife. Oh no, we've got it. I love a good corner piece. That crust is like perfectly cooked. May have grabbed the wrong utensil, but we're gonna try and go through it anyways. All right, our perfect piece of Mexican lasagna. Ooh, look at how delicious that looks. Our crust perfectly golden brown, everything perfectly cooked, and oh my goodness, I mean, this just looks absolutely amazing with our Fritos on top too. Enjoy.